Hey guys, welcome to the Head in the Cloud show with me, Adrian from WorksheetCloud. Here's the massive elephant in the room, the June exams, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Oh, give me strength. It's hard to believe that we are already approaching the halfway mark for 2021, but we definitely are, and it's time to start getting those study juices flowing. I'm here to share some practical tips on how your child can prepare and conquer the upcoming exams with as little stress as possible. Emphasis on practical tips, which means that we're going to be providing you with some hands-on information that you can start working with and implementing today. Without delay, let's get right into it. Tip number 1, be the organizer. It all starts with you. Exams don't sit very high on most children's priority lists. They sure didn't sit high on my priority list when I was a kid. Sorry, mom and dad. So you need to lead by example because you're the adult, right? Take the lead and get the ball rolling. Sit down with your child and have an honest and open discussion. Ask them how they're feeling about the upcoming exams. Are they worried about anything? Where do they feel they need the most help? The more information you have upfront will help a lot when it comes to planning your child's study schedule, which we're going to get to a little later. Once you've had a good chat as parent and child, it's important that you ask them to show you their school notebooks so that you can make sure that their notes are complete and ready for them to start studying. I cannot stress this enough. One of the most common studying hurdles is incomplete study notes, and it really stuffs everything up. Compare your child's school notebooks to the exam outlines given by their school. You'll quickly be able to spot if there's gaps in what they've written down in their notebooks. And if they are missing sections of work, ask them to get the missing notes from one of their classmates or even ask directly from your child's teacher. I know there were loads of missing sections of work in my notebooks when I was at school, so again, sorry mom and dad. Tip number 2, create a study plan. He who fails to plan, plans to fail. Do you know who said those wise words? Neither do I, but they are wise words nonetheless, and they're very true. Every successful endeavor starts with a great plan. To prevent cramming, which you really don't want to do, don't leave studying until the last minute. Cramming, where you try to study all your work in a short space of time, in a short few hours or a short few days, doesn't benefit long-term memory retention whatsoever. Start simple. And it really is simple, it's not rocket science. Look at a calendar and count how many weeks there are during next term, term 2. If you don't know the dates for the term, Google it. Then look at your child's exam timetable to see how many weeks the exam period is. Subtract, now this is where the maths comes in, and you know, I'm not great at maths, but this is easy maths. This is sort of maths lit light. Subtract the exam weeks from the total term weeks, and boom, you now know how many weeks you have before exam starts. Again, it ain't rocket science. The study plan should be balanced so that your child is able to study each subject in its entirety, which should ultimately boost their exam performance. To get this right, enough time needs to be given in advance to fit all their studying in, which again is why you shouldn't leave your planning to the last minute and start creating a study plan ASAP. Using a combination of the school exam timetable, the number of weeks available, and how much content your child needs to study, you can begin creating a study timetable to ensure that they have sufficient time to summarize their work as well as study those summaries that they've created. Work backwards from each exam date. It'll make life a lot easier for you. There are 2 important aspects to studying: making revision notes and then studying from those notes. Split each subject into a session for creating summaries, notes from which to study, and a session that requires actual studying of those notes. I cannot, listen carefully children, I'm going to treat you like kids now, but I cannot overstate the importance of having proper study notes. We could even put that down there in writing, proper study notes. Well-written, well-ordered study notes makes revision much simpler and easier. During a study session, your child should study unfamiliar work or the bits of work that they struggle with first, while their brain is more alert and fresh. Then move on to the material that comes more easily or the work that they're really good at. To help you and your child set up a great study plan, we've designed a few free study plan templates for them to use, which you can download straight after this video. Just click on the free download links in the description below to grab those free study timetable templates. Tip number 3, important one, review the timetable as a family. Bet you've never thought of doing this before. The critical element that will determine the success of this study plan that you've created with your child is getting your child's buy-in, very important, to make them feel like they have a voice during this process. Once you have drafted the study timetable, your entire family should sit together to review the timetable while taking into consideration each person's personal calendars, social, sport, religious, family time, and relaxation, etc. Ensure that the study timetable is realistic and that personal commitments you intend on making are also realistic in terms of focusing on priorities. For example, is a night out at the movies really more important than spending time studying? No, it's not. There'll probably be a few small changes that you'll need to make to the study timetable before finalizing it once your child gives the input and you get the input from the whole family. But this process should make your child feel like they are in charge of their own schedule, which is a big thing for even young children to start feeling like they're starting to become more in control of their lives. Tip number 4, a peaceful study space. Greenery. Effective studying isn't just about having the best notes, summaries, and plans. Not at all. It's also about being in the right mindset for learning. Having a clean and quiet study space definitely plays a big part in this. Set up a clean, tidy space in a quiet part of your home for your child to make use of while studying. Eliminating all distractions is vital. Otherwise, but what if your home is a noisy home? Or it's small, which makes finding a quiet corner difficult? No worries. Pop a set of headphones on your child's head and play some peaceful ambient sounds to block out the surrounding noise. And this might actually even help them focus even more. And once again, WorksheetCloud saves the day, because in the video description below, you will find links to a bunch of free audio tracks for peaceful studying. I feel so chill. Chill. Tip number 5, identify your child's unique learning style. Every child has unique learning style. Some learn best by hearing things, others by seeing things, and still others by actually doing things with their hands. Identifying your child's learning style up front will make studying so much easier, as you will be able to customize the study material into a format that your child absorbs the best. We've created a quick 2-minute quiz to help you identify your child's primary learning style. Again, you'll find that link in the description below. Tip number 6, a balanced diet. Don't discredit the big role that your child's diet plays in their learning ability. Make sure that they have a balanced mix of the 5 major food groups each day: proteins, fruits, vegetables, grains, and dairy. Try to limit their intake of foods with added sugars, things like brown sugar, corn sweetener, corn syrup, and saturated and trans fats, things like red meat, chicken, full-fat dairy products. These things don't actually help with concentration. So be mindful of the quantities of these foods that your child is consuming, if they're consuming them at all. And when you think about studying snacks, think about some obviously healthy options. Also, make sure your child drinks lots of water. Staying well hydrated keeps their brain alert and ready to learn at all times. Tip number 7, sufficient rest and exercise. You may feel like your child should spend every waking hour preparing for the exams, right? No. Sufficient rest and a good exercise routine is also incredibly vital. Let's look at rest first. Depending on your child's age, studying in 20 to 30-minute intervals with 5 to 10-minute breaks is definitely more beneficial than trying to sit too long and getting distracted in any case. Your child's mind needs regular breaks in order to function at its maximum capacity. The number and length of breaks will depend on your child, so keep trying until you find the ideal formula. Also ensure that your child gets a sufficient and consistent amount of sleep each night, anything between 8 to 10 hours depending on their age. Then on to exercise. You've no doubt heard about the numerous physical health benefits of regular exercise, but have you ever stopped to think how it could influence your child's mental performance? Aside from providing a well-needed break from marathon study sessions, when our bodies engage in movement, it triggers the release of various hormones and chemical compounds. These hormones and compounds all have very important effects on various brain functions, including increasing concentration and relieving frustration. So let your child play some ball outside, or even go for a walk around the block with them during study breaks. It's a great way to spend some quality time together, and let's face it, because studying sucks, your child will be glad to get a break. Finally, tip number 8, have the right tools. You know that exciting feeling when you walk down the stationery aisle in typo, because let's be honest, who doesn't love stationery? Well, that is exactly how your child feels when they start exams with a fresh set of pens, pencils, erasers, and everything else stationery related. These don't have to be expensive items. Just making sure that your child has the right tools for each exam is a big step towards having more confidence when walking into their next exam. You'll also need some practice exams that your child can complete after they've studied. It will help you identify any areas that your child needs more study and practice in, and help give them confidence as they start answering more questions correctly during their practice sessions. Again, we've included another link in the video description down below where you will find loads of free printable practice exams that you can start using with your child today. Then something else that I have to mention is WorksheetCloud. It's our exam slaying, test destroying, grade boosting, stress reducing online study app that will transform the way your child studies, guaranteed. And you can find out more at WorksheetCloud.com. Exams are around the corner, folks, so get clicking the links down below today. From the entire WorksheetCloud team, happy learning, and exams suck.